Hello students, we are studying the unit third. Unit third is related to the permissioned blockchain. So in previous sessions, we have studied what is permission blockchain. Then also we have studied its use cases, Hyperledger Fabric, Quorum, Coda. These are the use cases of permission blockchain. Then also we have studied its benefits and drawbacks also. In this session, we have to learn the state machine replication. This is the syllabus of unit third. We have taken the introduction of permission blockchain. In permission blockchain, the users are already known. The users are trusted users, and this is for particular industries. If some industries wants to go on the blockchain, then that industry can form the permission blockchain for their operations. So in permission blockchain, the users or nodes are already uh, well known. That nodes are pre-selected, pre-approved, and such type of group of peoples will come together and they will form the permission blockchain. So in public blockchain, we have studied the different consensus mechanism. Consensus mechanism is the agreement process on the state of the system, on the state of the blockchain. Every node in the blockchain has to agree on the state of the machine, or you can say when we insert the block in the blockchain, every node must verify the transactions and block, and if that block is valid and if all the parties agree through the consensus mechanism, then that block is inserted in the blockchain. Now we are studying the another type of blockchain, that is permissioned blockchain. So what is the consensus mechanism for permission blockchain? Because in permission blockchain, there are different types of nodes, and there are some nodes that are responsible for proposing a block in the system. This type of blockchain is as some there are some nodes that propose a block that do the different operations, and if that nodes hold the capacity to control the permission blockchain. And if such type of nodes misbehave in the system, then how to handle that misbehavior, how the consensus mechanism will work in the permission blockchain, that we have to study in the second part of this unit. So our main focus is the distributed consensus mechanism in closed environment. This permission block is closed environment blockchain, because in permission blockchain the peoples are already known. Anyone cannot participate in the permission blockchain. That participants are pre-selected, pre-approved, and there are some nodes that can approve the joining of the new node to the permission blockchain. How the consensus mechanism will work, and what happen if some fault appears, if some fault happens in the permission blockchain. So in that process, first we have to understand the state machine replication. So in recent years, interest have been seen in state machine replication protocols. Specifically, these protocols are in the context of the permission blockchain. So such protocols are used to maintain a set of stateful replicas. So we have to understand what is state. State is the state of the machine, and when we give some input to the state, that will produce the output, and that will also change the state from previous state to the next state. Such states are state of the machine is state of the system, not machine. State of the blockchain, state of the system is maintained by the nodes, and there are the here the concept in state machine replication. What is the meaning of the replication? We know that replications means duplication. State of the machine is duplicated on several nodes, and if the one of the state fails, then system can be recovered from the other machines in a distributed environment. In distributed environment, several machines store the state of the system, and from that system we can recover the from that state we can recover the state of the system. So this is the basic concept behind this state machine replication. So such protocols are used to maintain a set of the stateful replicas. These machines are used to maintain the replicas or duplicate copies of the state of the machine, which execute the same set of requests in the same order deterministically. So whenever we try to do the transaction in the blockchain, so this the state of the machine is duplicated on several machines, and these machines will receive the request in the same order. All the machines should receive the request in the same order, and that request should be processed in the same order, and all the replicas, all the duplicate copies of the state of the system should be updated at the same time. If you want to maintain the deterministic, if you want to have the system deterministic, then every machine should receive the same set of inputs, and that same set of inputs should be processed in the same way, and they should produce the output in the same fashion. So this is the concept behind this state machine replication. So such protocols are direct fit for permission blockchain. So in permission blockchain, it is possible that because the participants are limited, and some participants are in the role of proposing a new block, and also in the role of selecting the users in the permission blockchain. So the participants are limited, so it is possible to maintain the copy of the system on few machines, on some machines, and from this replication, from this duplicate copies, by the use of duplicate copies, system will remain deterministic. System can maintain its consistency because of the duplication of the states or replication of the states on the several machines. So we will see how this state machine replication will help in handling the faults, in handling the consensus mechanism in permission blockchain. So at the first instant, it will not become clear to you how this state machine replication is useful in permission blockchain. When we spend some sessions, this session and few more sessions, and then you will come to know how this state machine replication is useful in consensus mechanism of this permission blockchain. So such this state machine replication protocols are a direct fit for permission blockchain, where every peer or replica is known. Already every peer in the system is known, and every node is approved to participate in the system. So it is possible to maintain the duplicate copies of the state of the system in permission blockchain, and this state of the this duplication can help in handling the faults in permission blockchain. So first we have to understand replication. Replication is a technique used for performance or fault tolerance. So each replica, each duplicate copy, or we can say each replica is a state machine. A deterministic program, each replica is a deterministic program that receives an input. Each state of the machine will receive an input, and then it will change its state. Whenever it will receive the input, some operation is done, and state of the system will change, and it will produce an output. And state transitions are atomic. And replication, there are two methods of replication, two methods of duplication of the state of the system that two methods are passive replication and active replication. So we will see what is this passive replication and active replication. So you can see, students, the figure of this passive replication. This passive replication is also called primary backup or master slave. In this mechanism, we can see there is a one server. That server is also called primary. This server will maintain the state of the system, and this server will receive the inputs. You can see this server will receive this operation 1, and it will receive the operation 2 from the other client. So you can see this is the primary that maintains the state of the system, and this server is duplicated. The backup of this server is taken. And there are two other servers that will maintain a duplicate copy of the state of the system. You can see backups at the end of Ficom. You can see this backup, and in backup there are two servers. This server 1, and you can see other server 2. This server 1 and server 2 will maintain the state of the system. So there is a one primary server, and there are other two servers that will maintain the state of the system from this primary server. In this method, passive replication method, clients talk with the primary server that sends the operations and checkpoints to the backup. So client will talk with the primary server, and whenever the server will change its state, that state is duplicated in the backup server. So if the primary server crashes in this system, in this passive replication, if the primary server crashes, then the one of the backup server can take over, and that server can become the primary server. So in this way, this method can handle the faults. If the primary server fails, then system can recover from the backups. So this is the one of the method of replication. Then you can see in active replication. This active replication is also called state machine replication. So in this machine there are several servers, and every server is updated at the same time. Whenever some operation will happen, that operation will be processed by every server. Every server has the state of the system. Every server will maintain the state of the system. State of the system is duplicated on every server, and every server will receive the input, and that input is processed, and after processing the input, then it will produce the output, and also the state of the system will change, and the state of the system will change on all servers. And if one server fails, then state of the system is maintained on the other server. So system can recover from the other servers. This is how this active replication will work. In this, all the servers are updated at the same time. All the servers are synchronized. Same set of operations will happen in every server, and the order of operations will be also same on every server, and updated copy of the state of the system is maintained on every machine. So this is the active replication method. Then we have to understand Byzantine fault or Byzantine general problem. So students, we have a separate topic on this Byzantine fault and Byzantine general problem. We will discuss later more about this Byzantine fault, but just we will take a primary introduction of this Byzantine fault. Byzantine fault is a condition of the computer system, particularly distributed computing system, or you can say decentralized system, where components may fail. In this Byzantine fault, this Byzantine fault happens because of that the components or computers or nodes may fail, and there is imperfect information on whether a component has failed. So computer, the node has failed, the component has failed, but we don't know that the component has failed. Also we don't realize that the component has failed, and that failed component or that component may misbehave. That component may try to breach the system. So this is the Byzantine fault. It is a condition where the components may fail, and we will not come to know that we don't have the perfect information that the component has failed. So the objective of the Byzantine fault tolerance is to be able to defend against such type of failures of the system components with or without symptoms that prevent other components of the system from reading an agreement among themselves. So this Byzantine fault tolerance system is the system in which it is the ability to defend against such type of failures with or without symptoms. We don't realize, also we don't come to know whether that component has failed or not. This fault or BFT system should be able to defend against such type of failures with or without system where such an agreement is needed. So in this case, the computers don't realize that the component has failed. So there should be some agreement. There must be some agreement among the nodes upon the state of the system every time. In this case, the agreement is needed. Our agreement, we call agreement as a consensus in blockchain technology. An agreement is needed for the correct operation of the system. So computers may misbehave, computers may fail, and always the consensus is needed. The agreement is needed for correct operation of the system if we want to recover from the Byzantine fault. The Byzantine general's problem is a term that term has echoed from the computer science description of a situation. This Byzantine general problem is a situation where involved parties must agree on a single strategy in order to avoid the complete failure. Involved parties must agree, there must be some strategy, single strategy, and by using that single strategy, the parties must agree on the state of the system. That is nothing but the consensus. Consensus we call in the blockchain technology, or agreement that we call in the blockchain technology. But in this agreement process, some of the involved parties are corrupt. And disseminating the false information. Some of the parties may be corrupt, some of the parties may be propagating false information, or otherwise that parties are unreliable. So though there are some parties are unreliable, some parties are corrupt parties, some parties are propagating wrong information, despite of that, system should recover from this Byzantine faults and Byzantine general problem, where is the situation that the parties must agree on a single strategy, or parties must come to some agreement in order to avoid the complete failure. In that case, some parties may be corrupt parties, some parties may be propagating wrong information, and some parties may be unreliable. So this is the Byzantine general problem. So we will how this Byzantine term coined, that we will discuss in the coming sessions. So state machine replication. In the state machine replication approach, an arbitrary number of client processes the issues and requests to a set of replicas. So in this state machine replication, the state of the machine is replicated on several machines, and the clients may request to process some transaction to several replicas at the same time. When several duplicate copies of the state of the system will receive some request from the client, then that request should be processed on all machines in the same order, and they should produce the output. machine should produce the same output, and they should change its state from previous state to the next. So they should come to the, they should arrive at the state that will be state on the, that state will should be same on the all machines. So this replicas implement a stateful service that receives this request, and after receiving the request they will do some processing. They will update its state is updated accordingly to the operation, according to the operation contained in the client request. And once replica transmit matching replies, and once the client will receive the reply, matching reply or similar reply from all the replicas, then the state is finalized and the transaction is committed. The goal of this technique is to make the service state maintained by each replica evolve in a consistent way. So every replication, every duplication on the machine should remain consistent after processing the input. So this is the aim of this state machine replication. So what are the requirements of state machine state machine replication? So there are three rules. We will study these three rules. State machine replication should supply the following requirements. The first requirement is initial state. You can read this slide carefully. State machine replication protocol should satisfy these three requirements. First requirement is initial state. All the replicas start on the same state. When the replicas, when the duplicate, replica means what? Duplicate copy of the state. So when replicas start, all the replicas start on the same state. So when the replicas will start, when they will receive the input, they will start on the same state. So this rule is easy to implement. We can verify the initial state of each machine, and any two correct replicas, any two correct replicas R and R dash start with the initial state S0. This is the first requirement of state machine replication. Then second requirement of state machine replication is coordination. All replicas receive the same sequence of inputs. This is the second requirement. All the replicas should receive the same sequence of input. So when these replicas will receive the same sequence of input, they will do some processing on that inputs, and the state of the system will change. If the state of system is S0, then it will change its state to S1, and this state should be same on all machines. So if any two correct replicas R and R dash apply operation O to the state S, both R and R dash will obtain state yes. So when we apply some operation O to the state yes, then we should obtain the state S dash on the all machines at the same time. This is the second requirement, that is the coordination. And third requirement of state machine replication is determinism. All replicas receive same inputs on the state and produce same output state. So in this third requirement, all the replicas should receive the same input, and not all the replicas should receive the same inputs, but in the same order. Order of the input is also important. All replicas should receive the inputs in the same order. They should process the input in the same order, and they should produce the output and new state. So any two correct replicas R and R dash execute the same sequence of operations O0 to OI. First, and in this SMR you can see first two requirements can be easily fulfilled. First two requirements are initial state and coordination. And third requirement, the first two requirements can be easily fulfilled if the service is deterministic, but the last one requires a total order broadcast primitive. So last if you want to implement this last requirement, that is determinism, in which this determinism ensures that all the inputs should be received in the same order, all the input output, then that input should be processed in the same order, and then output should be processed. So in this we have to order the inputs in the same fashion, and this is like solving a consensus problem, and this requirement is difficult to achieve. So there is some extra mechanism is required to achieve this requirement. So in the coming sessions, these things will become clear to you, how this third requirement can be achieved. So what is state machine? For the subsequent discussion, a state machine will be defined as the following tuple. So state machine has set of states, set of inputs, set of outputs, then transition function. Transition function that will take the input, that input will be applied on the state, and state of the system will change. Then output function, the output function, input is applied on the state and they will produce the output. And distinguished state is called starting state. So state machine begins at the state level start. You might have studied Mealy machines or Murray machines. There is a start state. Each state will receive the input. That input will pass through the transition and output function. To produce a output function will produce a new state and an output, and state is held to be stable until a new input is received. The new state will remain stable until the new input is received. With the output is communicated, and when the output is received, that output is communicated to the appropriate receiver, or you can say client. And state machine requires to be deterministic. So this is the tuple. How you can represent this state machine in the computer with set of inputs, set of outputs, set of states, transition function, and output function. And there is a one state that is called start state. So state machine approach, how this state machine approach helps in resolving the faults, correcting the faults in distributed systems, or you can say decentralized systems. How this approach works, so you can see on this slide, the first step, place copies of the or you can say keep copy of the state machine on multiple or independent servers. So we have to keep the copy of the state machine on multiple or independent servers, and this multiple copies of the states receive the request, client's request. This client request is interpreted as inputs to the state machine. This request is nothing but the input to the state machine. Then we have to choose an ordering for the inputs. So this is the crucial task. We should receive all the replicas should receive the inputs in the same order. Otherwise, the inputs may be processed in the wrong way and they will produce the wrong output, and the state of the system will also be wrong. So this ordering of the input is important. So choose an ordering for the inputs, and after choosing the selecting the ordering for the inputs, execute the inputs in the selected order, or you can say chosen order on each server. So the input is processed in the same fashion, in the same order on each server, and after processing the input, respond to the clients. We have to respond to the client with the output from the state machine. So this client will receive the output from several machines, because state of the machine is maintained on several machines, and if sufficient number of reply with the same output and same state is received, then the client can confirm that the input is processed in a correct way and state of the system is changed. So there is a third party, or you can say some central authority that can monitor this process, and that can monitor that central authority can monitor the state of the system. So we have to monitor the replicas for differences. We have to see whether there is a difference in the after processing the inputs, the state of the system will change, output will change. The monitor will receive the state of the system from several machines, monitor will receive the output from several machines, and monitor will calculate the difference between the states. If the difference is 0, that means the operation is successful, because there is the same state on every machine. Every machine is maintaining the consistent copy of the state. Deterministic copy of the system is deterministic, or you can say system is consistency, because state of the system is same on all machines after processing the input and output is also same, so that state of the system can be finalized and that output can be finalized. So this is how this state machine approach works. So in coming sessions the things will become clear to you, how this state machine replication is useful in handling the Byzantine fault, and how this is helpful in consensus process, consensus mechanism of this permission blockchain. So in this state machine replication, ordering of the inputs is very important issue. I already told you that the input should be all the replicas, all the servers that maintain the duplicate copy of the state of the system should receive the order in the same fashion, should receive the input in the same order, should receive the should receive the inputs in the same sequence, and that input should be processed in the same order. And if that inputs are processed in the same order, then the output will be also same and state of the system will be also remain same. Since all non-faulty replicas will arrive at the same state if the order is same, and all the non-faulty replicas will arrive at the same state and output if given the same inputs. So it is important that inputs are submitted in an equivalent order. Inputs are submitted in same order, in same sequence to each replica. This is the important issue in the state machine replication. So we will have more discussion about this in next session also. So students, we will stop here. We will terminate this session. So in this session we have started studying the consensus mechanism, and this is the first step to understand the state machine replication, and how this state machine replication is useful for handling the faults in the permission blockchain. That will become clear to you. Some concept might have clear in this session, because duplicate copies of the this is one of the consensus mechanism, because same all the nodes will receive, all the replicas will receive the same inputs, they will process inputs and they will agree on the state of the system. When the state of the system when they will process the input, they will arrive at some state, and the monitor, the central authority that will monitoring all this process, that can central authority can calculate the difference between states, and if that central authority monitor finds some difference, that means there is some problem, there is some fault, and that fault can be easily detected by using this state machine approach. So students, we will stop here. We have taken the introduction of state machine replication. This is the new concept. It may be difficult for you to digest it, but if you try to understand it, and if you take some more efforts, and if you try to search on the internet, and you will use some additional resources, then the things will become clear to you. Thanks for watching session. Goodbye.